3, 2, 1. Hey, it's Wild Josh from Geek-Cetera, and I'm joined by Chase and Ezra. And tonight, we're going to go through all of the Disney Investor Day properties and titles that are coming out and that pertain to the MCU. Yeah, specifically from Marvel, and how they. It seems like a lot of it makes up Phase 4, but some of it is going to actually be into Phase 5 and beyond. So let's get geeky. So right off the bat, we're going to start with the first one that's coming out the soonest, and we're going to try to work our way back. We may not be 100% accurate because some of the dates are still up in the air, but we'll do our best. So the first one we have is WandaVision. It's a Disney Plus series. It's coming, like I said, the soonest. And we actually have a video on this one already. So we're not going to spend a whole lot of time. If you want to see our talking about that, go to our video library and you'll be able to find it. It was a couple months ago where we talked about the trailer for it. And this is coming out on January 15th, 2021. Any thoughts on this one, guys, before we move on?
Nothing that we haven't already covered on it, I don't think.
Talked about it. I'm excited for it.
I'm actually really excited for it.
I think I'm increasingly more excited about it since my theory that Wanda becomes crazy and is the next big Marvel villain.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
So one of our listeners did comment, or at least told me afterwards, that it's not entirely baseless in comics. So I'm happy.
We'll have to wait and see. We don't have to wait that long,
That would be
though.
something. I would like that.
Pretty exciting. So next, the second one that we have that's coming out in order is Falcon and Winter Soldier. This is coming out on Disney Plus series as well. And I'll give you a little synopsis here. Sam Wilson and Bucky Barnes team up in a worldwide adventure that puts their abilities to the test as they fight against an anarchist group, the Flag Smashers. So some characters that we're going to be getting in this, Emily Van Camp returns as Sharon Carter. She was Sharon Carter in Captain America Winter Soldier and Captain America Civil War. We're also getting Georges St. Pierre. He'll be returning as Batroc the Leper, and he had a cameo appearance in Captain America Winter Soldier. And also Daniel Bruhl will return as Helmut Zemo, and he was in Captain America Civil War. Oh, so some interesting characters from the past that we're going to be seeing again. Obviously, we're going to be seeing Bucky Barnes and Sam Wilson as well.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Didn't he kill himself?
No, Black Panther put his glove on top of the thing and stopped him so that way he would get it. That was why I was interested to see that name on there. So I'm like, interesting. But yeah, I'm excited to see Falcon kind of come to terms with being Captain America instead of Falcon. Because he's like the title of the thing is Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but we know that he's supposed to take on this mantle now. So I wonder if by the end of it, if he's gonna go by Cap.
That's what I was thinking. It's gonna kind of bridge that gap where we're gonna see him transition.
The art that we have for this, and I don't know if you have it up.
I don't.
All right. It's good. He's wearing the Captain America suit.
Mm-hmm.
I just like it. It's good.
Yeah.
It doesn't appear that he's wearing wingsuit though. So I mean, it's gonna be interesting.
In the trailer or teaser thing that we got, he is wearing the wingsuit.
Okay, so that's cool.
Yeah.
It's just he's not a super powered person. Like,
no, he's not.
I wonder if they're gonna do an experiment on him to make him super powered, or if he's just gonna be a plain guy.
Yeah. Well, have to see.
I think one of the things, this is getting a little off topic, but Steve Rogers, one of the reasons he chose Sam is because of, I think it's the attitude or mentality. Like, the doctor didn't originally want the super soldier serum to go to the best soldier. He wanted to go to the guy with the biggest heart. So I think Cap, when he passed on this role, is like, the Captain America isn't about being the super soldier. It's about being a super person. And I wonder if that's...
I agree.
Because Falcon has held his own in the meantime. So, yeah, I don't know.
Absolutely. No, I mean, the other point to that was like anyone could inherit the serum. Like, I don't know. I'd be okay if they did juice him up. That'd be fine. I think it'd be kind of cool. But also if they don't, I mean, yeah, it's cool too.
All right, so we're gonna move on to our next. So this is our second one we were on. Oh, and I didn't say the time period, did I? So that is actually coming out on March 19th, 2021. So with any luck, and it's actually 6 episodes. It's not very long, but with any luck, we'll have WandaVision kind of roll through the end of January through February, and then as we get into March, we'll get into this. So we can almost see a continuation of just Marvel content throughout the year of 2021. But after that ends, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, those 6 episodes, we're going to be moving into Loki, which is a Disney Plus series. It's coming out in May of 2021. And we actually already did a video on this one as well. So we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on it. But check that video out in our video library. We do a breakdown on the trailer and give you our thoughts and reaction to that trailer. So I'm actually probably of the 3 that we've talked about, I might be the most excited for that Loki one because it looks really cool to me. But
am I in the wrong show notes?
That's what I keep looking at too.
probably not. If you scroll all the way to the bottom of those show notes,
Yeah.
there's just a quick hits
It's a
info
quick
already.
hits,
Oh,
yeah.
that's
Okay,
what you're
yeah.
going off.
You're just
okay.
you're just way too smart and prepared for the rest of us.
Yep.
Well, this is where I get a little confused. So next, I'm not really sure if we're supposed to go Hawkeye. I think we are, but we don't really know exactly when Hawkeye's coming. And there's a video for
it is supposedly coming late 2021.
So it's not Hawkeye we're going to next.
Well, yeah. I thought Hawkeye had like a October-ish.
Okay. So next, then we would be going to Black Widow, which we will have a video dropping on where we talked about the Black Widow trailer. So I'll give you a little bit of background on this. It's going to be an MCU film. Word is it's going to be going to the theater, not going to Disney Plus like some of the other things are going directly to Disney Plus. And that video should be coming out within the next couple of weeks of our video. But that movie is supposed to be releasing on June 7th. No, sorry, May 7th. I can't do math in my head and figure out months. May 7th, 2021. So, yeah, so we'll have to, but I mean, it got pushed back. It was supposed to come out last year, so we'll actually see, but it looks like that's when it's actually going to come out. So again, we're going to have continual content all the way in through movies and everything. I mean, 2021 is the year of Marvel.
So,
now, yeah.
The next one's Blade, right?
I think not. I think the next one is Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Okay.
Which
when is that?
That is July 9th, 2021, as of right now.
Okay. Hawkeye is fall.
That's after. Okay, yeah.
So that will be after.
So Shang-Chi Legend of the Ten Rings would be coming first. It's an MCU film. So there's no indication that's going to be going directly to Disney Plus, but we'll have to wait and see. It's directed by Destin Daniel Creighton, which I have no idea who that is and what he's done. And it's starring Simu Lee from Kim's Convenience as Shang-Chi. The premise is when Shang-Chi is drawn into a clandestine Ten Rings organization, he's forced to confront the past he thought he left behind. Tony, sorry, some of these names I'm going to try. Tony Lueng Chi Wei will play the real Mandarin, where we were hoodwinked in Iron Man 3 when Ben Kingsley turned out to be not the real Mandarin. I just noticed that
not the Mandalorian.
It says Mandalorian here, but
Mandalorian.
Mandarin. But he was just kind of like tricking people. So yeah. So for those who don't really know a whole lot about Shang-Chi, he's often referred to as the master of Kung Fu. In the comic, Shang-Chi is proficient in numerous unarmed and weaponry-based wushu styles of fighting, including the use of the gun nunchaku and Jian. I don't know. In later years, he gains the power to create countless duplicates of himself and joins the Avengers. So we'll have to see what kind of Shang-Chi we get in this. But I am excited to get a real Mandarin.
I know nothing about any of this, but I remember Ezra talking about Ronin. I like the idea of Ronin being trained by this guy if he's a master of like the martial arts and whatever.
Oh, that'd be a cool tie-in, wouldn't it?
Yeah, especially because when we see Ezra's got a goofy smile. Am I on something or am I off something?
No, I like that idea. That's
Because
good.
yeah, when we see Hawkeye in Endgame, he's dealing with the Chinese mafia.
He's
He's actually, I think he's in
Yakuza.
Japan because he's fighting the Yakuza, right?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
But yeah, he's fighting Asian culture. I don't know. I just like the idea of the ninja tie-in to Ronin.
Fight fire with fire.
Yeah, fight ninja with ninja. Like that
It would be cool if
seems like solid
because I
math
don't
to
know,
me.
this actor, he seems a little young to me, but I don't actually know how old he is. But maybe like they had the same master or something like that. Like they were trained by the same master, or
I don't know.
Right,
yeah,
but like,
that would be really cool.
where did he like learn to use a katana?
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe there'll be a little bit backstory on that. That'd be interesting.
I would like that.
And
I
I
would
don't
like that
think
very
Ezra
much.
will complain at any Hawkeye extras,
No,
cameos, or things. So
I don't like my issue is, and I never really read any Ronin specific comics, but like I can't, just from judging on the MCU, I don't know if I like Hawkeye or Ronin better. Honestly, they're both pretty cool. So,
well, it's kind of a neat idea if they did have a tie-in to this movie, which is coming out in the summer, to Ronin and possibly his master and who trained him to learn the martial arts. And then in the Hawkeye series, we get him handing over the mantle of Hawkeye to someone else because he's going to take on Ronin like full time or more fully.
Yeah,
that would be cool. I would like that.
That's a good idea. I like that idea.
All right, so then we hop into What If. So this is a Disney Plus series coming in the summer of 2021. That's the most we know. It's going to be narrated by Jeffrey Wright from the Daniel Craig-led Bond films as The Watcher. And based on the Marvel comic series of the same name, What If is an animated series that explores what would happen if major moments from the MCU films had gone another way. Season 1 consists of 10 episodes. One such episode will feature a Chadwick Boseman voiced Black Panther, one of the precious few posthumous credits to his name. So we're going to be getting more Black Panther, which is cool, voiced by actually Chadwick Boseman, which is awesome. And it seems like they're going to be getting the actual voice actors or the actual actors that play these characters in the movies voicing the characters in this animated series, which is kind of neat.
That's pretty exciting, especially to see, what would have probably been Chadwick Boseman's like last work.
That's pretty close cool to it anyways, because I mean there's a movie out right now or coming out soon to the theaters that has him, but there's not much. There can't be much more.
That the one about the bridges?
I don't think so. I don't think it had bridges.
All right.
But I don't remember what it's about. I did see a trailer for it recently though.
Sorry, off topic.
No, that's okay. So I think it would be kind of neat. I know they did this in DC, I believe, and I remember there was a whole comic book spinoff of like what happened if Superman was like raised in like communist Russia or something like that, or Nazi Germany or something. I forget what it was, and like how that was a completely different person after that. So slight changes to a story can really change the outcome.
Yeah, I'm interested. So you said it's animated style, so I'm wondering, is this like Spider-Verse type animation, or are they doing something like Star Wars the Clone Wars type animation? Is this, I don't know.
I don't think we know enough yet, but I would love the Spider-Verse. That would be awesome. That was an awesome.
That was kind of my first thought is Spider-Verse style, but because I'm if it's Marvel, then they'll probably keep the Marvel, but it's also Disney owned, so.
coming from like it's based on a comic book, right? So I would think it'd be drawn, like if not by hand, but in the computer. I think it's going to be drawn, or is what I would think, but I don't know. CG's fine too. They're both effective ways of telling a story.
Yeah. So now we're going to move on to what we're going to say is Hawkeye. Because that puts us right around October, you're thinking?
I'm thinking it's going to take what was the Mandalorian slot.
Okay. So Hawkeye, Disney Plus series. We know it's coming in 2021. We don't know exact time frame. We're thinking it's going to come out around October. And we have a video that's going to be coming up very soon on that. So stay tuned for that. And then next we're going into, there's so much stuff. It's crazy how much is coming.
Yeah, lots of Marvel.
Eternals movie. It's an MCU film. It's probably not going right to Disney. Hopefully by then pandemic is done and over with, and it's a movie theater release. Is coming November 5th, 2021. So I think this will be after Hawkeye, but it's possible it's going to be before Hawkeye, depending on when Hawkeye actually releases. The director is Chloe Zhao, and the cast has a ton of people in it. And I'm not going to get all these names right. I'm warning you, I'm not very good with names. If you've watched my videos in the past, you know that. But the cast has Richard Madden as Icarus, Gemma Chan as Cersei, Kumail Nanjiani as Kingo, Lauren Ridloff as Makari, Brian Tyree Henry as Fastos, Selma Hayek as Ajak, Leah McHugh as Sprite, Don Lee as Gilgamesh, Barry Keoghan as Druig, Angelina Jolie as Thena, Kit Harington as Dane Whitman, the Black Knight.
I thought you did pretty good. That was good.
Was that okay? All right.
Yeah.
Of those people, I don't think I know any of them. This is like completely.
I know Angelina Jolie.
I mean that. Of the actors, I know the actors better than I know the characters they're actually playing.
Yeah.
They're all brand new characters to me, except for Black Knight. I've heard of Black Knight. I made a video talking about who could be future Avengers, and I talked about Black Knight in that video. So, yeah, that is a large amount of superheroes in that one movie. And they're all, I'm guessing, Celestials. They're all Eternals. I don't know what they are.
Yeah,
but
Eternal makes it sound like immortal.
Like
they exist
exactly.
for forever.
Yeah.
But
the idea.
Oh, actually, well, there's a premise. I could tell you what the premise is. The Eternals are ancient aliens who have been living on Earth in secret for thousands of years. Eternal. Following the events of Avengers Endgame, an unexpected tragedy forces them out of the shadows to reunite against mankind's most ancient enemy, the Deviants.
No, S.H.I.E.L.D. let's be honest here. It's S.H.I.E.L.D.
So we have more superheroes that were actually on Earth, but they did not feel like stopping Thanos when he snapped half the people in half and they were gone. He said, no, we're not. That's not big enough events for us to come out and fight.
Yeah.
No.
Whoever these deviants are, they better be a lot worse than Thanos, or I'm gonna be pretty upset.
Yeah.
I mean, the other thing too is like, I wonder when the snap happened, did like half of them die? Like,
unless they just got really fortunate and none of them did. Like,
yeah.
Well,
that might be why they did. They're just like, well, but that doesn't mean the Infinity Stones are like all powerful supposedly. So if he's able to destroy half of life,
maybe it snapped them all. They all got. And that's why they were.
And that's why they were
like basically all of the characters from Spider-Man: Homecoming did. So
yeah, I know. Yeah, it's true. But I'm not excited about this yet. But it's probably because we haven't seen a trailer. If we see a trailer and it looks awesome, then we're gonna get hyped, and then we're gonna be really pumped for it. But right now, with what we have, I'm not super excited. I just know that there was a bunch of superheroes that didn't feel like fighting the biggest villain that's ever been on screen yet. So I don't know.
This is gonna be Avengers 2.0.
Yeah. So, like I said, that's rumored to be coming November 5th, 2021. Now, from there, we go to Miss Marvel.
Which is different
this
than
is
Captain Marvel?
It is different than Captain Marvel.
They're not very
but
creative with the names.
connected. But they're connected, I think,
Okay.
in a way. So Miss Marvel is a Disney Plus series coming the winter of 2021. And a synopsis: a 16-year-old Pakistani American growing up in Jersey City, great student, avid gamer, and ferocious fanfic scribe, Kamala has a special affinity for superheroes, particularly Captain Marvel. However, Kamala struggles to fit in at home and at school. That is, until she gets superpowers like the heroes she's always looked up to. Life is easier with superpowers, right? So there's kind of a little synopsis for anyone who hasn't watched it. The backstory on the development of the fan favorite character was fantastically developed in the Disney Plus series Marvel 616, Episode 2, Higher, Further, Faster, which recognized the trailblazing women of Marvel Comics. Check it out when you get a chance. We did a whole video on Marvel 616. But yeah, Episode 2 specifically spoke about women in comics, and they spent a good amount of time talking about Miss Marvel and how she was created, why she was created, and who created her. So that was kind of neat. I actually did watch that one. I haven't watched all of 616 yet, but I've watched that episode.
It's entirely possible that I zoned out while you were reading, but it sounds kind of like a fourth wall break.
Kinda like she's in the comic books, and then she becomes
with
a
superheroes
superhero.
in comic books, and then becomes a superhero that fights alongside these superheroes that are in these comic books.
Yeah, kind
Doesn't say that she's obsessed with comic books.
Kamala has a special affinity for superheroes.
Whatever. Yeah.
So yeah,
I don't know.
and particularly Captain Marvel.
But yeah.
So she probably sees on the news, knows of Captain Marvel, and then.
But how?
She actually
because Captain Marvel has been very absent in humanity.
She's doing things behind the scenes, Chase. You don't even
and
know.
Then pieced out.
Helping the old lady cross the road. She's doing all kinds of things.
For her to come back.
Out of trees.
And then even once she came back, she's like, there are other planets that don't have Avengers. I'm going to go deal with them.
Yeah,
so she literally didn't even help fight Thanos until like the very last second.
Oh, you guys are Captain Marvel haters.
Yeah, we are.
But I don't understand how this woman knows about her.
She probably just saw a video of her smashing a spaceship, and she was like, okay.
That's the best one.
Because too, if I was faced against Thanos' army, I'd be like, this needs to go on Snapchat. Like, you know what? This would be a great TikTok. Like,
it was Peter. He was filming the whole thing.
I could I totally. If you tell me that there's like Ned hiding somewhere in the background with a camera phone, like.
He was brought through the portal just to document it.
Yes, that I could see.
So I have a little bit more on this, just so you guys know. It's gonna star Iman Vellani, and this is her like first appearance in like a big role. So she's gonna be kind of a new actress. Can you imagine getting your first credit in like your own superhero role? That's pretty awesome.
No.
So
yeah.
Way too much stress.
Especially your own Marvel role.
Yeah.
Yeah. So from there it gets really dicey because like the dates and time like that we know is coming is like when like it could possibly be, but it looks like from there it's going to go into Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, which is slated. It's an MCU film, which is slated for a March 25th, 2022 release. So anything at that far out is very subject to change. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like the sequel to Doctor Strange / Avengers Endgame / Spider-Man 3 and also a crossover sequel to WandaVision and Loki. So it's got a lot of stuff that it's kind of following up, and the premise is Dr. Stephen Strange continuing to research the Time Stone, but it's hindered by a friend turned enemy, resulting in Strange unleashing unspeakable evil.
By Wanda, his former friend, becoming an enemy?
It could be. It very well could be. I think you might be onto something there, Chase.
I really just want one of my theories this year to be right. I'm like 0 for 1,000 this year.
Yeah. So this topic alone, this film deserves its own video, and it's probably going to get its own video because of the implications that there are with introducing the multiverse. Now, a lot of things could be added in there a lot of rumors and talk about will Andrew Garfield be there? Will Tobey Maguire be there? We know we're getting all kinds of rumors as to but that's Spider-Man 3, right? That we're getting like Alfred Molina and Jamie Foxx and like all kinds of stuff.
There's so many rumors about characters now.
So really we could be getting so many things. There are even rumors now that Disney owns Fox that we could be getting in this one, like Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool, and like he could be in a multiverse on his own. That's why we haven't seen him as part of what we have here. So really, there could be a lot of stuff that they do with this movie when they introduce the multiverse. But we're gonna have to wait a while for it. It's not coming out till March 25th, 2022. Next would be Thor, Love and Thunder. Probably like everyone's most excited one. I don't know, like I'm pretty excited about this. Yeah, I mean Taika Waititi. Yeah. How can you go wrong? So this is an MCU movie. It's supposedly becoming May 6th, 2022. It's directed by Taika Waititi, and its villain is Gore the God Butcher, played by Christian Bale. Yeah. So it's rumored that the Guardians of the Galaxy are going to be incorporated into this film as well in some way. And Jamie Alexander will return as Lady Sif, who we haven't seen in a very long time. The last time she was seen in a MCU property was Thor: The Dark World. So we're going to have to figure out where she's been. Oh, okay. Yeah. And Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Lady Sif?
Oh, yeah, you're right. She wasn't in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah.
A couple times.
So it'll be interesting to see where she's been, what she's been up to. But it's also been revealed that Jane Foster will be played by Natalie Portman again and will become Lady Thor. So with her becoming Lady Thor, it really leaves the question, does Thor pass the torch on? Does he die? Does something happen for her to become Lady Thor? Or is there going to be Thor and Lady Thor in the same universe?
I like that option.
I like that one.
I don't want to be done with Thor.
Right.
Like, especially, Ragnarok made him one of my favorite characters just because of the pure level of comedy in that movie. But
I don't want to be done with Fat Thor.
I want to be done with Fat Thor. I can be done with Fat
Thor.
No,
I like Fat Thor. He's funny. And he plays video games. And he's more like us.
But no, I do like Thor as a character. He's pretty good.
No, I liked his the mix too with him, between him and the Guardians of the Galaxy. I thought there was some good banter there.
Oh yeah,
back and forth. I love that.
The Chris's.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I think with the name like Gore the God Butcher, like you don't just like get that name. Like there's a reason behind it. So I'm curious as to what gods he has butchered and why we haven't heard of him before.
So I did some research on this when I first heard that Christian Bale was playing him.
Yeah.
He's a real character. He's not like made up for this or anything. He was a real Marvel character, and his family all died. Like all his family died in like these tragic ways. So he came to the point where like he was like, well, God's not doing anything to help my family, and decided to just go out and hunt and kill all gods that he could find. So that's why he's
where did he live? Was he live on Earth?
No, he's an alien.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Huh. Pretty funny.
Yeah, interesting. So we'll see how that role turns out. I mean, Christian Bale's a great actor, and it's kind of like because he was Batman in the DC, so now we're gonna get to see him in MCU, which will be interesting. All right. Deeper into 2022, we go to Black Panther 2. This is an MCU movie. It's supposed to be coming out July 8th, 2022. It's directed by Ryan Coogler, who's the same guy who directed the first one. Chadwick Boseman, who was set to reprise his role in the film, will not be recast. There are also no plans to use digital double for Boseman in the film, so this leaves a lot of questions as to how they're going to do it. The film will explore the world of Wakanda and the rich and varied characters introduced in the first film, and much of the main cast from the first film is set to return. Includes Martin Freeman as Agent Everett Ross. Winston Duke as M'Baku, challenger to the Black Panther mantle in the first film, but who later serves to protect and assist T'Challa in retaking kingship from Killmonger. So, where are they going to go? Obviously, they say they're not going to recast. They're not going to use a digital double.
Good choice.
So, I think that they're going to pass it on to Shuri.
I think that she's the best option because they don't have any more of the heart-shaped herb to basically give anybody else those powers. The only person who can make those powers is Shuri through technology.
Right.
So I think she's kind of going to become the next Iron Man through the Black Panther mantle of building superpowers in this suit and helping to equip other Avengers and people in need. I think that'd be a cool role, and I think that she can do it.
That's the best way to go.
I think they kind of set up her scientist character that way of, like, she knows what's good, she knows what's right. So.
M'Baku.
You think M'Baku?
Yeah. No.
Okay.
I mean, it could be. I don't know.
Could be.
I mean, he did assist. He was like, he ended the movie as a good guy, not as a bad guy. So.
I also like the idea. It's highly doubtful that they're going to use the multiverse for this, but I saw a lot of people using the multiverse to keep Killmonger as the Black Panther.
I was thinking
having Michael B. Jordan reprise his role and take on the Black Panther mantle as King of Wakanda.
That would be interesting too.
Because then you can literally reuse this fight scene, and if I know they might not want to do this with killing Chadwick Boseman, but they can reuse that scene where he gets thrown off the cliff and just have it so that he doesn't survive that fall. But
yeah,
I don't know. I don't like that option as much as I like Shuri.
Yeah. I think Shuri's a little complicated because she's kind of already said she doesn't want to be king, and it kind of leads us to believe that she probably wouldn't want to take on the Black Panther role either. She's like, to me, she's kind of her own superhero in her own right. But I mean, either way, they could probably do it. They could probably pull it off. It'd be fine.
Yeah, the way that I would see it happening is them somehow explaining that T'Challa was killed or died, and her doing this kind of in honor of her brother, because she does have a deep love for family. So even if she doesn't want to take on that honor, she might take on the Black Panther mantle. Kind of, this is what he would want me to do, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And do you really see there being any other way for them to go about this story without somehow having T'Challa die and pass away? Like, do you think there's any chance that he just says they do something where it's like, oh, he stepped away? I can't imagine it.
I can't. I can't picture it.
Yeah. Okay. So let's move on to our next one, which is Captain Marvel 2. It's an MCU movie. Its release date right now is as November 11th, 2022. And it's set 20 years after the original Captain Marvel. But if you'll remember that Captain Marvel, the original one, was in early 90s or something like that. Brie Larson returns as the main character. Teyonah Parrish has been cast as Monica Rambeau, a.k.a. Lieutenant Trouble, the daughter of Carol Danvers' friend, Maria Rambeau. So the young daughter is now becoming Lieutenant Trouble. She's going to be something, a character, it seems like. In the comics, Monica Rambeau grows up to become takes the Captain Marvel mantle on for herself. So could that happen? We'll have to wait and see. This character will also appear in WandaVision. So that's kind of an interesting connection, but I have a feeling that a lot of what's happening in WandaVision is happening in her head, so it doesn't actually necessarily mean much. And also, the character who's playing Miss Marvel, Iman Vellani, has been cast to play Miss Marvel in this series as well. So kind of interesting. We don't know a whole lot about the plot, but it will be interesting to see where they decide to go. So, I mean, where we're getting now in the timeline here, there's not a whole lot to go on because it's so far out, but we'll keep on going. Do you guys have anything about that one you wanted to mention?
No. Just that Kyle's image that he sent me to use for this portion is perfect.
Oh, it sure is. Love it. So now we're going to go. We're like I said, we know that there's a Blade movie coming out. We're kind of like moving into Phase 5 here. So there's a Blade movie coming out, and we don't know exactly when it's coming out. But it could be part of 2022 release, but it could be 2023 as well. So I wanted to put that one out there before I move on to the next one, which is Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumanium.
I'm excited for this one.
Me too. MCU film. Again, we have no idea, but Michelle Pfeiffer did tweet that the movie was coming in 2022. So it kind of fits in there. It's going to be directed by the same director, Peyton Reed. He directed the other Ant-Mans as well. And he's most notably now known for also directing Chapter 10 and Chapter 16 of The Mandalorian in Season 2. Main villain is going to be Jonathan Majors, who will play Kang the Conqueror, which was a character that we discussed as possibly one of the MCU's next big baddies. Well, it appears he's not going to be a big baddie, but he is going to be a baddie, and we're going to see him in Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumanium.
I think that helps play into Kyle talked about Secret Wars as his next phase of Marvel, where he said Kang ended up being a part of Secret Wars and the Beyonders like crew. So that sets it up well if they're using him as like a minor villain, not like as like an overarching like Thanos that takes several movies. If he's like a one movie, then he could help set up for the Beyonders,
like a Loki.
And also interesting is that Kang was Reed Richards' father, and we know that we're getting a Fantastic Four. So I don't know that they'll actually tie that in, but in the comic books, Kang the Conqueror was Reed Richards' dad. So there was a casting change in this one too. Cassie Lang will now be played by Catherine Newton. Last time we saw teenage Cassie in Avengers Endgame, she was played by Emma Furman. So a little bit of a casting change, but it's probably more due to the fact that she's older now at this point, and they need to go a different direction. And Cassie Lang will likely be taking the mantle of Stature, paving the way for her to join the future Young Avengers movie or Disney Plus series. So if they do go that route, they could set that up nicely. And also, we're going to be seeing actors Paul Rudd, Evangeline Lilly, Michael Douglas, and Michelle Pfeiffer reprising their roles from the original series and movies. So we don't know exactly when, but if we're to believe Michelle Pfeiffer is 2022. Next, man, there's so much. Where are we? Okay.
Secret Invasion.
Next, we're coming to 2022 again. This is Secret Invasion, Disney Plus series. It's coming in 2022 and called a crossover event. So it may not be a continuing series, but could be a culmination of the series that came before it, culminating in this one series, The Secret Invasion, which was a pretty big storyline in the comic book series. Since the Skrulls were a major player in Captain Marvel, and Captain Marvel 2 is coming in 2022, this may have a direct tie-in to that movie. We'll have to wait and see. But Ben Mendelsohn as Talos and Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury are confirmed to reprise their MCU roles for this series. So we're going to be getting those two back as well. Great actors. Love to have them back. So like I said, this is rumored to be coming in 2022, but it would be late 2022 if it does come. Now, where are we? I'm sorry, I'm going back and forth between the timeline. Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special is a Disney Plus series that's going to be coming late 2022, and it's going to be filmed with Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
I'm still picturing Star Wars Holiday Special level of quality for that movie.
I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be pretty funny, to be honest.
Expect nothing more.
I don't know. I mean, with what they've been doing, I think we can expect more. But that puts us in very iffy time. We're going to go here and say next would be She-Hulk. It's a Disney Plus series that's starting to film in March of 2021. They're not even starting to film until March of this coming year. It's directed by Kat Corio. It stars Tatiana Maslany, I think is how you say it. Rick and Morty writer Jessica Gao will be the lead writer. So if you're not familiar with who She-Hulk is. The last major character to be co-created by Stan Lee. She-Hulk / Jennifer Walters is an attorney and cousin of Bruce Banner the Hulk. She received her powers from her cousin in an emergency blood transfusion, but unlike Banner, She-Hulk is able to keep her intelligence and personality when she hulks out. Mark Ruffalo and Tim Roth. Yeah.
Hulk definitely keeps his intelligence now. So,
Now he does, but not initially, yeah.
Yeah. So she just started with the innate ability, but Hulk can definitely do that now. So
he's gotten better.
Yeah.
Is she gonna be like? Because wasn't she in the comics like always in her Hulk form?
Yeah, I feel like she was for the, but I haven't. That does not say.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. So Mark Ruffalo is going to be back as the Hulk. Tim Roth as the Abomination, both confirmed to reprise their roles in this series. So that'll be interesting to see where they go from there. She-Hulk was actually always kind of an interesting character to me, because it was like, I guess if they try to explain that she got a blood transfusion, but I always just was like, Hulk got his from an accident, and his cousin has the same powers. Like, how does that even happen? But I guess if they're trying to say it was a blood transfusion, I get it. Next, we're gonna go to Moon Knight. It's a Disney Plus series. Its release is obviously unknown, but it's starting to film in 2021, probably similar to when She-Hulk. So the lead role is unconfirmed, but it is rumored to be Oscar Isaac as Mark Spector, who is now this is interesting. In the comics, this is a long rap sheet. He's a former boxer, Marine, CIA operative, and mercenary. That is a lot of work.
I mean, that's easy. Anybody can do
All
that.
the day's work. So, if you're not familiar with who Moon Knight is, he was created in 1975 by Doug Mionich and artist Don Perlin, and made his debut as a villain in Werewolf by Night number 32. Moon Knight's popular in the comic book community for his battles with mental illness, and he also has a very unique design. He's one of the few remaining fan-requested characters to join the MCU. He's a superpowered hero, often compared to DC Comics Batman for his wealth in gadgetry and detective skills. But he's got superpowers, so he's not really like Batman. Moon Knight differentiates himself from Batman, like I said, because he has superpowers. He also suffers from dissociative identity disorder, a mental disorder characterized by the maintenance of at least two distinct and relatively enduring personality states. Mental illness will likely play a unique aspect of this series. So, in the comics, Mark Spector obtained his powers from the Egyptian moon god Khonshu, and it seems this will continue in the series as Kevin Feige stated it will be exploring ancient Egyptian iconography. So, Moon Knight, kind of like a Batman-esque looking character, but he's super powered, so not quite Batman.
What are his powers?
I do not know. That's a good question. His powers are his mental illness. I don't know.
He's a fan favorite.
Yeah.
I just don't know much about him, unfortunately.
And do we know anything about his
two
personalities? Does he have one that's like super good guy and one that's super bad guy? Or
I'm like, wait, does he have like a bunch of personalities? And one of them's a boxer, the other's a Marine, the other one's a CIA agent, the other's a mercenary.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
I don't know. That's what I was thinking when I was reading the thing. I'm like,
I'm gonna do a quick Moon Knight super power.
Because don't they say it's usually not just like one? It's usually not just like two identities. It's usually like two main, but a bunch of like side ones.
Oh, that's interesting. So
at least that's what
his superpower is: increased strength, speed, and endurance, depending on the lunar cycle.
Oh,
probably hence the moon. Yeah. That would track. So does that mean when there's like no moon, he's like super weak? And on the full moon, he's super powerful.
He's super powerful. That's kind of interesting. Like, we haven't seen that kind of, like, superpower before in the MCU. True. Yeah. So maybe he's got power, but he's just not as powerful.
Okay. Also, okay, so what the moon does, if we're gonna be real here, the moon reflects solar energy to the Earth. So during the daytime, is he like really powerful?
Oh, I don't know. I never read the Moon Knight comic book series to know, but I know that a lot of the pictures of Moon Knight have him at night with like the moon at his back, and it's always like a full moon. So, yeah.
He like only does crime fighting on full moon.
Yeah, he's
Otherwise,
like useless the rest of the time. So, all
this
right.
is not plan our robberies for the full moon.
So now we have a few more. I can't believe we've been talking for almost an hour, and we still have more, but we do. I Am Groot, a Disney Plus series. It's a series of short films starring Baby Groot. That's I Am Groot. Yeah, so cool. I think my kid will like that, but I don't know.
It's something for those Baby Yoda fans.
Exactly. Yeah. Don't know when that's coming out, by the way. Armor Wars, Disney Plus series starring Don Cheadle as James Rhodes or War Machine, facing Stark technology that's fallen in the wrong hands. So it's Don Cheadle's opportunity to be Iron Man, and he's facing Stark technology that's fallen in the wrong hands. I feel like Stark technology kind of always falls in the wrong hands.
Yep. I was gonna say that seems to happen a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it does. 2 more. Fantastic Four. It's an MCU movie. It's basically there's nothing known. We don't know who's playing any of them.
Chris Evans.
We don't know. Yeah, we don't know anything.
Chris Evans.
So
I actually saw a rumor saying that Zac Efron for
Human Torch.
I'm pretty sure it was Human Torch.
For Mr. Fantastic?
I don't think it was Mr.
For the Thing?
No. Hold on,
so I love the
Wait, for Invisible Woman?
Yes, that's exactly what I saw.
No, that's Donald Faison.
Zac Efron is apparently the front runner to play the Human Torch. Not sure the source of the rumor, but I'm not sure how to feel about this casting.
I feel like I always feel like he's younger, a younger guy. But
they should have John Cena play the Invisible Woman.
That would be fantastic. I'm down.
So I'm a big fan of the idea that Reed Richards and I forget the girl's name are played by Emily Blunt and John Krasinski.
I'm
a big fan of that idea. I don't know if it'll happen, but I like it.
Wasn't I just saying earlier that they wanted her for an MCU role?
Yes.
Yeah, you said they wanted her for Agent Carter, right?
They wanted her for Black Widow, and then they wanted her for Agent Carter.
Yeah.
So finally, she'd be getting an MCU role.
Yeah, but it'd be kind of cool, husband and wife playing husband and wife, and I think they would fit the bill for those characters pretty good.
They look the part.
Yeah, exactly.
John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic. I love that cast. That would be fantastic.
Yeah. That would
and then finally, and lastly, Ironheart, a Disney Plus series to star Dominique Thorne as Riri Williams, creator of the most advanced suit of armor since Tony Stark created the Iron Man suit. And that is all of the MCU properties that we know is being worked on currently,
to be worked
as far as the Investor Day release is concerned. That was a lot. That was a lot.
We already have a lot of, at least we have the synopsis for a lot of this stuff. Once we get trailers, we're gonna be so swamped with Disney and Marvel.
I know.
Hi, kitty cat.
We're gonna have to change our name to just Disney-Cetera or something. Is that lasagna?
It is lasagna. He was meowing at me, so he obviously wants to be on the live stream.
He wanted to be on live stream.
Yep.
So anything to say about any of these properties before we wrap this?
I'm excited. Having at least 2 years of Marvel planned out is
after a year of drought.
Yeah.
I know it feels like forever.
Yeah.
But at least they gave us Mandalorian in that time, so that way we weren't totally starved of content. But
I'm still personally PO'd about the Black Widow decision, whatever it was.
To move it back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they should have tried to use that to pioneer the streaming premiere instead of Mulan.
Yeah.
And I think it's really dumb that just because Mulan sucked.
I'd
Through-
be shocked if they don't
through-
try something else like that again.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of
Yeah.
people who still did buy the movie. It's just they didn't like the movie. Like, just because they put out a bad product shouldn't affect. Yeah.
I'm such a sucker. I bought it.
Yeah.
It's like
I
I
feel
was
like-
there opening day and it was garbage. I hated it.
I feel like Disney though tends to kind of overreact sometimes when
Yeah.
things like don't go like instead of like
Oh no,
powering
this
through,
didn't
they're just
break
like
the box office records. It was a flop.
I don't know.
Well, especially with that budget, and
Yeah.
they just
True.
didn't make enough return. They lost so much money in that movie. So
But I feel like they would've
I
anyway.
understand the decision. I understand the decision.
I
No,
think, yeah.
absolutely they would have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But because that's what happens, right? When a movie's good,
Yeah.
it comes out in theaters. The first week people see it. The people who are going to watch it anyway see it, and then they tell their friends whether it was good or bad, and then those friends
Yeah.
go and watch it. That directly influences. So yes, it still would have sucked. It still would have lost money, even in movie theaters. I personally feel.
Yeah.
But you can't just let that be the reason to not
Yeah. I agree.
like continue that service. I feel
Mm.
like that service wasn't flawed. It was just the movie.
Mhm.
But we'll never know unless
Yeah.
they do it again.
Well, I think that's it. We hope you like this video. Be sure to leave a comment on what you're looking forward to coming in Phase 4 or beyond, or any of the Investor Day content that's coming. Also, be sure to like the film or like the video. Subscribe to our channel so you know when we have future content coming. We've been doing live streams every Monday at 7. Next week, we're going to be doing a live stream on the Investor Day stuff that came out for Star Wars. So be sure to tune in for that. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I love you 3000.
Fine. I'll do it myself.
I am Groot.